On digital radio, on the app, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Football in general.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk presented by The Sportscast.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk with Victor Arocho and Byron Jones. And here's your host, Victor Arocho.
Get it on live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk. If you haven't yet, please subscribe on all our channels on YouTube, X, Spotify. We are streaming live on YouTube right now. If you like the show, smash the like button down there, hit the notifications. You can hear our guests. We talk NFC East and then all around the league. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the playoffs this week. Please subscribe to all of our channels. Again, we are live every week, Thursday at 8 p.m. Hosted by Byron Jones and Victor Arocho. Brought to you by The Sportscast. And today is January 30th, 2025. I can't believe this month is almost over. We're almost in February. Mr. Byron Jones, how you doing? You getting ready for a good show?
Wonderful. Everything is all good in the hood.
All good in the hood. All right. I was stuck in traffic, so I'm a little bit tired, but I was ready for the show. We got a lot to talk about, and we got in our green room, diehard Dolphin fan. Well, he talks about our show, and we're gonna probably talk a little bit about some Tyreek a little bit later. But let's bring it to our show, Mr. Kevin Tyre. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk.
Thank you for having me.
What's happening? All righty. Let me get some of this stuff rolling here. Get our comments going. All righty. So let's get started. With this week. Well, Mr. Byron, your luck has gone out with the Washington Commanders. You had them taking the Philadelphia Eagles, and they kind of got destroyed. So let's talk about that game a little bit here. What do you think went wrong?
Let's see. 4 turnovers maybe had a lot to do with it. When you turn over the ball, most likely in the playoffs, you're going to lose. And that's exactly what happened to these guys. You know, they didn't protect the ball, and it cost them, 21 points, 28 points, or whatever it was. But, you can't turn over the ball, because in playoff time, it's a whole different game. And Washington Commanders found out the hard way.
And didn't we talk about that last week? The turnover, it happened the week before. Everybody turned the ball over, right? Pretty much lost the game, right? And the same thing happened here. So the sad part, though, here we go. Let me get in here. Trying to pull up their numbers. The sad part, though, watching that game, right? Like, Washington was there. Like, no matter what, Washington was – I mean, that kid is something else, Jalen Daniels. But they were there. But those turnovers, one after the other, was just terrible. You cannot win playoff football. I can't get to the team. Here it is. You cannot get to the football. You win the football game in the playoffs with turnovers. Look what happened to Detroit. Look what happened to every team that had lost the turnover battle, lost. That said Washington really lost bad, and Washington was in there for a while, right? I mean, because look at the yards. It was 100 yards difference in total yards, passing yards. Washington had better rushing yards. They got crushed. My man Saquon, baby, first touch, 60 yards. I'm sure that bothered you, Mr. Byron Jones. For the man who will not name his name. All right.
Nope.
They had 28 first downs, C7. Okay, but look at the turnovers, man. 2 sacks allowed. Penalties were so bad, but 3 fumbles lost, 3 sacks allowed, an interception. And look, the game was 30 minutes to 29 minutes. it's just the turnovers that killed him, and then the running game. I mean, Barkley went off, so I'm happy for him. Another 100-yard game. Kevin, did you watch that game?
No, I saw that. But
Well, you-
Washington is a young team. Yes, they did make mistakes, but they coming. They coming. But that young quarterback, that young dynamic quarterback, they keep him healthy. Oh, it's gonna be a problem. They're gonna be a
and
problem.
look, Jalen Hurts put up some big 246 yards, 20 of 28. That's pretty efficient. Saquon Barkley, 7.9 yards a carry, 15 yards, 118 yards. They should have let him broke that record. Now they're in the Super Bowl again. So that was an interesting game. You know, congratulations to Philadelphia. I'm sure we haven't heard from Eric yet. So this is a rematch of the Philadelphia versus Kansas City. And now you got Vic D'Angelo as the defensive coordinator. So we're going to see what's going to happen there. But just overall, you know, the turnovers changed that game because it was relatively close, even though it looked like, you know, first play, you know, the Washington did well driving the ball coming down. First play, Barkley gets the ball, 60-yard rush, but then it was still relatively close. It looked like Philadelphia was dominating, but Washington stayed in there until the turnover started taking place.
Yeah, but what sets Washington apart, not Washington, but the Philadelphia Eagles, is that when the center got hurt, Dickerson got hurt, they were able to plug in. You know, the other guy came in from off the bench with a bad back, Jurgens, and just plug him in, and it was still the same. And you know, that's what sets them apart from any other team, is that the offensive line. That offensive line is that I have to give them credit, you know, for that. That offensive line is that talented and that good. You know, where you know one guy got hurt and just plugged in somebody else, and it was still the same. It didn't change, even though you know they changed, you know, with the centers, you know, center and guard positions.
Well, you know, also, you know, they're running the ball relatively well. I mean, Barkley's shown that, you know, having a running back makes a big difference there. And then playing in Philadelphia. But, you know, Washington looks good. You got to give Jaden Daniels credit. You know, it's his first playoffs to take him as far as he did. You know, I was expecting that, but I wasn't expecting this kind of blowout, right? I mean, they put up 21 points in the fourth quarter. Most of those were from turnovers. But prior to that, I mean, you're talking the game was, you take that off, that's 4 and 20. It was 34-23 just before that fourth quarter. You know, they were pretty close. So, you know, in the first half, it was 14-3, right? Then it was 27-14, you know, and that just before that, it was probably like 14, you know, 15-14, right? It was close. And then it just started turnovers. And let me tell you, the defense was doing a hell of a job winning the takeaway battle.
Yeah.
So you got to give them the credit. They're also their quarterbacks were doing a hell of a job as well. So, you know, congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm happy with Saquon Barkley. You know, I was seeing both sides. I wanted to see Jalen Daniels do well and keep it close. I didn't want to see a blowout, but for the most part, you know, you can't have the ball turned over. I mean, and they were just, you know, turning over, dropping balls, fumbling. It was just amazing. And some of them were just – it just seems like the defense is getting better at stripping and punching balls out. Don't you notice that? And I'm seeing a lot of those type of plays where, you know, they're getting smarter, just going for it and punching the ball.
Yeah, a little bit. But, you know, it's either hit or miss. You know, because you figure if you're going to try to punch the ball out, you better make sure you get it, because most likely if you don't, that, you know, the running back or receiver is going to be – he's still going to be running down the field. So it's either a hit or miss thing. But we have to bring this up on the tush push. Remember how many? What are they down there for? Like 3 days? You know, with Washington and Philly, and it got to a point where, you know, it was so bad where the referee was just going to award them the points. You know,
well, because that player kept jumping over.
Yeah, yeah,
offsides.
But they were doing a hard count, which was causing him to keep doing the same thing, and he kept doing it. And I didn't know that was a rule where they could basically, you know, give them the points if they feel that they're, you know, delaying the game or, you know, whatever, you know, the reason was.
Well, he did it several times. I mean, they have to do
He did
something
it.
'cause it would never have stopped, right? The only thing I didn't like about that is Barkley gets all the way down there. Give him the ball to score. Like why? Why? Like, think about it. Barkley, besides Barkley having a great season with yards, he got a lot of touchdowns taken away from him because of Jalen Hurts and that tush push.
No, he didn't get him taken away. He didn't get him taken away. It's just the fact that they called Jalen's number. They didn't take anything away from him.
Okay, you didn't take him
called
away.
his number.
But, man, I just think that a running back takes that ball all the way down there. Why do you got to do the tush push so many? To give Barkley a chance to score. Barkley should have 4 or 5 touchdowns in that game. Barkley, I guarantee you, Barkley should have another 8 to 10 touchdowns during the season, and they just used the push tush. That's why Jalen Hurts has so many touchdowns. Cameron, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, I understand where you're coming from. He putting in all the work, taking it all the way down the field, and then, but like you say, that's the number that they call. That's their bread and butter play.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I wanted Barkley to get the damn touchdown. I'm like, give him the ball. Give him. He's all the way down there. Give him the ball. He already had 3 touchdowns. I wanted a 4 or 5 touchdown season. I want the Giants to cry.
Why didn't Mike Dick give the Super Bowl?
Yeah, they did do Walter Payton dirty. Yeah,
they did.
Who did?
Mike Dick.
In the Super Bowl. Yeah, Mike Dick in the Super
Dick
Bowl.
regrets that. He said he was in the moment of the game. He didn't realize that. If he said he could do it all over again.
It's a little late.
I tell you,
man.
Like a comment.
He regrets that. Remember, they were doing that all year, though. It wasn't like, he didn't just pull that, let me give this to refrigerator Perry. They were doing it all year. So he just was in routine. He didn't think he would not get down there again. You know what I mean? But Walton Payton should have got a touchdown.
The tush push or whatever? That's what they've been doing all season. Right?
True. But the odds were still as high. Yeah, but they did it like 4 times. So, I mean, one of those times you gave it to Barkley. Right. So it wasn't like they did it once and scored. In refrigerator, they gave him the once and he scored. Right. They did that thing over and over again.
Okay,
it was getting ridiculous.
Okay, I'm going to be a hater again.
As usual.
On defense.
I mean, not again, as usual.
Like usual. On defense, you can't push, when you go to block a field goal, you can't push the guy in front to push him, over the line. That's a rule. Mm-hmm. So what's the difference with them putting, the running back or whatever and pushing the quarterback? What's the difference? That's what I'm still trying to figure out.
I'm trying to forget because you're not supposed to help a guy advance. So I don't understand how they're literally getting behind and pushing the guy.
Well, they do that with running play.
What about all the times where they grab and pull them across the line like that?
Yeah, they do running too. They'll grab the running back and pull him 10 yards or push him 10 yards. Had a whole pile moving.
Mm-hmm.
Come
on, Byron. I would have liked to have been a fly in the wall when you saw Barkley get the ball on the first play and score a touchdown. Come on, Byron. Tell me what went through your mind right at that point. First play.
Here we go.
Since we're PG, rated or whatever, I can't say exactly what I said, but it was pretty bad. But I was like, "Are you?" And it was a whole bunch, following that. But I wasn't expecting that. That was a bit much early.
I was happy. I had to rewind it. I'm like, was that the first play or was that the second play? I couldn't believe that was the first play. Touches the ball, NFC Championship, and he takes it the distance. He's got 10 yards over 50 yards?
Yeah, he's got a bunch of them. Yeah.
He's got a bunch. And I keep remembering you. I used to always complain about him dancing. That's his game. He dances to find the crease. And let me tell you, he's fast. Because I saw players, like even the player from Washington, break it whole and get caught. Barkley doesn't get caught.
Barkley is not getting with the reason why with the Giants, he had to dance because half the line was already through the offensive line before, as soon as he got the ball. So yeah, he got to dance around. He did at Penn State dancing around, but then when he gets with the Eagles, dude, he's not getting touched for I think it's like 2.3 yards or whatever the number is. That he's not even getting touched before he even breaks through the line.
Yeah, but he's still dancing to find a hole. He finds the hole, he's gone.
Yeah,
I mean, there was a play that as soon as he broke the hole, Jalen Hurts had his hands in the air. Touchdown! He had his hands in the air when he was 2 yards away from the line of scrimmage. Jalen Hurts knows how he's gone. He ain't catching him.
When he's dancing, he's going forward with the Eagles. It's a difference. With the Giants, he was dancing to see where I could find a hole at.
Yeah, because he couldn't even find a crack.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, and he's got that sidestep. He's got quick pickup speed. And then he's got that sidestep to move left to right, find a hole, and then he just accelerates. He's fast. I mean, what's his 40 time?
Probably at least 4.4.
I mean, he is fast.
He's football fast. Not like a 40-yard dash type of speed, lightning speed, but when they have that ball in his hand, they just take it to another level.
But he's got pickup speed because, you got Barkley. What the hell, man, Barkley? He's got, there's guys that are fast in the 40, but they're faster down the line. He's got that pickup speed. So his first 10 yards is he just flies.
Yeah.
He's a 4.4. That's fast for a guy his size.
Just 4.4, about 225, 30 pounds. Yeah, that's pretty.
That's
good.
Fast for a big guy. That's fast. I mean, you got other guys. I mean, a fast defensive back is 4.4, 4.3. You got free safeties that run 4.6s. So, all right. Well, congratulations to the Eagles. They had a good game, and they're getting ready for Kansas City. So we're gonna see what's going on there. And let's get to the Kansas City game because I got Santiago's all excited because I was pretty fired up on that one, especially since I thought. Well, let's go, Byron. What you think about that game?
Kansas City does just enough to win the game. That's what they don't make mistakes. They're not going to beat themselves. You got Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator, at the end of the game when he dialed up that blitz that they hadn't seen the whole game, and he dialed up something a little special for him, to seal a deal. But the Chiefs aren't going to beat themselves. They had the Buffalo Bills that had to go in there and take that game, which they didn't. They probably should have ran. That running back, was pretty good. James Cook. They should have ran.
Oh my God, he wasn't in several times.
Yeah. They should have ran him a little bit more. Instead of using their version of Superman back there, Josh Allen. But they really should have ran the ball a little bit more, and they should have won. But it is what it is.
Kevin, I'm not sure if you like the Bills because they're in your conference, but what do you think about that game?
No, I don't like the Bills. I thought it was like Byron said, it's Kansas City's not gonna beat themselves. It's like they remind me of New England back in the day. New England, you had to beat them for 60 minutes, not 59, 60, because they're gonna just wait. They're gonna wait. You make a mistake, they're gonna capitalize, and that's what happened with Buffalo.
Well, Buffalo put up a little bit more yards than Kansas City. They had the passing yards were pretty close. Rushing yards were pretty close. I mean, this was just a close game across the board. 22 first downs, 28. Total play, 63, 68. They gave up 2 sacks each, punted twice. Penalties were high in Buffalo, a little bit double, 48-21. No fun. Look at here's where they won the turnover and lost the game. Kansas City had a one turnover, no interceptions. Time of possession literally was 1 minute difference with Buffalo. I mean, this was a close game through and through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But we got Philadelphia. We just finished talking about Philadelphia. We're gonna have to go back to Philadelphia. We're gonna bring this on. All right, let's bring on Mr. Eric Winters. Welcome to the show, big Philadelphia fan. We just finished talking about Philadelphia, so we're gonna have to go back to that. But let us wrap up a little bit with Buffalo. And we'll come back to Philadelphia. All right.
Okay.
All right. So look, here's my biggest problem, Byron. All right, with what happened in the Buffalo game. Now look, I picked the Chiefs to win. Number one. Number two, it's because Buffalo just, in my opinion, Buffalo's Buffalo. They find ways to lose. Just like, remember we talked about the Ravens. The Ravens seem to beat themselves. They just do things. When it comes to playoff times, they try to get smart. They outthink themselves. Like not giving Derrick Henry the ball more than 20 times. Like that was just ridiculous, right? We know that their winning percentage is super high when Derrick Henry gets the ball over 20 times. And you go into playoff games and you give it to him less than 20 times. I mean, I just don't understand that. That's number one. Here, in this case, this guy Cook got the ball 13 times. There were several times on fourth down. He wasn't even in the game. Tony Romo kept mentioning this. How is Cook not in the game? Not in the game. And then you have Josh Allen. They know he likes going over the left tackle. You know you're going against Spags. Do you think Spags not preparing himself for that? And I still think that was a first down they got. But why chance it with the refs? Spag knew you're going that way. Their tush push is not as good as Philadelphia's.
They got a bigger quarterback.
Oh, but Josh is bigger, no?
Bigger, yeah.
Okay, Josh is bigger, but his tush push is not as good because their tush push is right over the center, not through the tackle. He's going to the tackle. The other thing is, look at Patrick Mahomes. They gave Patrick Mahomes the ball. Did he go through the middle? No. He came around the right side. Why wouldn't you have Josh running around the right side? Several of his scores was running out the right side, right? I want to get back to this with Eric's on because I want to go to Philadelphia, and I'll bring this back. I just want you to digest. When they held him to 3 points, right? And I could not believe Josh Allen couldn't bring them down. I ain't blaming anything on Josh Allen. I'm blaming it on the football team, right? Not bringing them down to be able to score a field goal. Those last 4 plays of the game, I want you to digest that, and we'll come back to it. They were terrible. Those were the worst 4 calls I've ever seen. And you cannot tell me you're surprised that they're sending a corner coming to your right side, blitzing you. Again, it goes back to like in the Rams game where they just let the best defensive player come. I just don't understand the Bills. All right, but let's get back. Let's get back for Eric on Teach. Congratulations on the Eagles win. Dominating.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome with Saquon Barkley's first touch in the game, the NFC, 60-yard touchdown. You are welcome.
Well, you seen that coming. I felt that coming. Not the first touch. I mean, not the first touch 60-yard break, but it was with the defensive coordinator, sound the alarm and talking his talk. That was bulletin board material. And you don't kind of want to mess with the guys. I learned this by being around Big Coach Byron. I found out where my place was at in footballs one day. We got to talking, and I was chirping, and he said, "Yeah, I used to run a 4." What'd you say? A 4? Was it a 4.7 or
4.78? 4.78.
4.78. Because I said, "Man, I would have got you." He said, "No, I ran a 4.78," and I said, "It ain't no way in the world." Then he showed me a picture of him playing basketball with Wilt Chamberlain, and I said, "Yeah, he would have caught me. He would have caught me." So when you mess with the big, the Giants like that, and they can move like that, you don't disrespect them. You just get out their way, and that's what we got. We got a bunch of guys that's on our line. That's they're very nice guys. They're gonna serve their country. They're gonna do everything they're supposed to do. They're gonna love their wife for 30 and 40 years, but they'll knock the snot out you. They'll knock you out.
Your offensive line to be able to replace.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Byron, you just talking about they replaced their center put someone else in, and he just performed. I mean, your offensive line is phenomenal.
Well, he was an All-American center though at Alabama before he took his knee up. Yeah,
and he was hurt.
He's tearing him out the frame.
Yeah.
You get anywhere near landing, he gonna eat you up now. You ain't gonna miss. He ain't gonna miss too many meals. He country strong. So, but then he was down, and then the other guy came back in.
And Jalen Hurts did a good job passing. You know, AJ Brown got his numbers right. I mean, on that third down or fourth down, and they threw that nice pass to AJ Brown. That was a great cast. It was an excellent throw. You know, but again, you know, somebody was asking me about what are the keys. I'm like, give the ball to Barkley. Barkley got the ball 26 times and you won. Give the ball to Barkley. That's the difference between Kellen Moore and whoever the damn the offense coordinator for the Ravens. Okay.
Like, what's the name? Shannon Sharp. I like Shannon Sharp because he talks so much and he just talk a lot. You know, and sometimes if you listen to what he's talking about, he know what he's talking about. It's just you gotta cipher through some of that crazy stuff he say. And he mentioned the time when
big white teeth.
Huh?
Those big white teeth, man.
He mentioned the time with TD, Terrell Davis, the records and the goals that he set along those years that John Elway could win the Super Bowl without TD. And I said, damn, Saquon tearing them things up. And that was all during the playoff run into the Super Bowls, the back-to-back Super Bowls that they won. You know, winning this for John and all of that. Saquon has destroyed both of those records. And on his way, 30 yards away from just wiping TD out. So I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to feel it now. Was the record really worth it if we was going to destroy these records that was in the playoffs that was forever? Because everybody not going to reach the Super Bowl. Everybody not going to reach those heights. So what records do you want to destroy? The one during the season or the ones that's on your way to the Super Bowl?
Way to the Super Bowl. That's what it's
about. Can't have them all. Can't have them all.
You can say that. There's nobody. Okay, give me the records and going to the way to the Super Bowl. Who do you know? Go ahead, Kevin. Tell me who you know has Super Bowl records.
Has Super Bowl records?
Yeah, you said breaking records for going over to the Super Bowl. Who has them?
No.
Name somebody.
Those regular season records mean nothing because look at Lamar Jackson. He's won all these MVPs and in the running for the MVPs. No Super Bowls. Nobody will remember you. Well, they ain't gonna say they won't remember you.
You remember Eric Dickinson?
Dan Marino. You know.
They're gonna remember. They're gonna remember Saquon too. Saquon put his stamp in him.
If he wins the Super Bowl, they'll remember Saquon. They're gonna remember Saquon, period. But they're not gonna remember him breaking the record. If you don't win the Super Bowl, I think first of all, I wanted him to break the record because I think he's playing the Giants, and he would have got that in the first half. He only need 100 yards. You know, listen to me. He only need 100 yards. He would have gotten the Giants. He would have gotten in the first half. There's no reason you could have just given it to him. Shit, he got 60 yards in the playoffs on one play. He also,
are you gonna
took himself out of the game in the third quarter against the Giants when he had 175 yards. He could have broke the record during the regular season.
Yeah.
So, look, everybody's got their different opinions. I just think, your offensive line will be remembered because he breaks the record. Everybody would have been remembered him breaking the Eric Dickinson. And that's just my opinion. Look, if you win the Super Bowl, then you can have a different argument, right? But you got to win the Super Bowl because that's what it's about worth. And I think he still would have did everything he's doing right now. And look, if he didn't break that record in the first half, then take him out. But he may have broken that record on the first play.
He could get hurt, man. Roll up.
Yeah, everyone could say, he could get hurt. He could get hurt in the first game of the playoff too. Right? He could get hurt in any of those playoff games. So, hey, look, everyone's got a different opinion in that. I just think that with that line, they deserve having because that line. Remember, when you break a running record, everybody is remembered. The offensive line, the team. Breaking a running record is a team award.
Who was Eric Dickinson's lineman? When he broke the record?
I don't know.
I mean,
I wouldn't be able to tell you that. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, but those guys. Yeah, but it's not. I'm not saying they're going to remember those guys, but those guys all have the honor of saying I was a lineman with Eric Dickerson at that time, and that's what's being remembered. Even Eric Dickerson didn't want him to break that record, right?
No.
But look, hey, it's paying off. He's doing his deal. He's doing his due. I want him to go. I just wanted him to have the record and win the Super Bowl because I'm rooting for him. I'm like Byron, who's hating him. I'm rooting for Saquon.
Hater.
Man, I'm just waiting for Jalen to get his just due. Once he win this game, give that man his just due. Because to make it to 2 Super Bowls in less than is it 2 or 3?
2 Super Bowls in 3 years.
2 Super Bowls in 3 years. Come on, man. Like, come on. And then on top of that, I don't want to get into GMs and all of that, but Howie, man, I don't know how he keep doing it. I don't know how he making these trades and who he talking to. As soon as I see his phone number pop up, I'm not picking that up. Get out of here, because I know you're gonna fleece me every single time. Like, and it's flawless how he do it. I don't even know how he get it done. There's not even enough money under the table they could put under it for me to pick that phone call up. So it's just we having a good time over here. We was acting up on Broad Street. I clearly lost my voice because of it.
Did you climb the light post like the rest of your Philadelphia fan?
Well, hell no, I ain't that simple. No.
Well, one kid died though. The young kid.
The kid from Temple. Yeah, the kid from Temple. He
climbing the light post.
Fell. Yeah, he fell off.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. But look, I am tickle pink with Barkley. I would have liked him broke the record, but I like to see him win the Super Bowl. I'm not going against Patrick Mahomes, right? But remember, last time I picked Philadelphia against the Eagles, and your defensive coordinator just decided not to change anything, and that's the biggest thing I have. The biggest fear I have is that hopefully D'Angelo changes it up. You're going against Spags. Spags is tough. You know what I mean?
Why do everybody give him his just? Listen, I like the fact that Spags has held it down all of these years, but that didn't come from him originally. None of that stuff came. He just took it and ran with it. It's not like he made all of that stuff up.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't. Don't tell me about my team. No, he didn't. He got that from Jim Johnson.
Tell me about your team.
Don't tell me about my team. That's like me taking something. That's like me taking something from Byron and say that I made it up. No, I got it from Byron. This is who I got it from. Give him his just due. Nobody give Jim Johnson his just due. He walks around with this book and all of this stuff like he wrote all of that stuff. He didn't write all of that stuff. Everybody know that anybody who's part of the Eagles organization, everything that Spags know, he learned it from Jim Johnson. That's who he learned it from.
Yeah, but
and then once he died,
come on, everybody learns something from somebody. But
I just hate the fact that they say he this great man. You can't tell me I'm a great man if you already gave me the answers to the test. You can't do that.
But I could give you the answers to the test. You still got to put the answers on the test. And then Spags has changed it up. He beat you already in the Super Bowl. Your defensive coordinator decided not to adjust, and you lost the game. Your team was a better team than Kansas City when you played them in the playoffs, and you lost.
So you said Spags beat us already? Did he? Because if he did, then Jalen Hurts would have. Jalen Hurts should have got the MVP in a losing effort against a defense that was supposed to stop him, right?
Your defense didn't stop them.
No, answer the question. Did Jalen Hurts almost get the MVP in a losing effort in the last Super Bowl that we played outside of that holding call?
He played a good game. He played a good game.
Yeah,
and almost destroyed for his hand grenades and horseshoes. Right? Okay. Almost don't count.
All right, man. I'm out of here, man. I ain't got no time.
Almost don't count.
Right.
That's not good. He can't be a crybaby, right? Byron, how good is Spags?
He's good, but I'm gonna clean up the other stuff. Jimmy Johnson, the guy that was the defensive coordinator that the Eagles had, back, in the 2000, 90, the 90s and 2000, who passed away. If if the Eagles had won a Super Bowl, during the time that he was the defensive coordinator, he would have got his just due as far as being one of the greatest defensive coordinator, like Dick LeBeau and all these other guys that are defensive coordinators. But he just didn't get his. They were always good in the playoffs, but they somehow just couldn't get over the edge when he was there. And then Spags being on that staff, got the information, watched, from the master, as far as, blitz schemes and this and that. And that's what he did. And, and then as a good coach, you've said it, I learned this here, but I'm going to take it over here. And then I'm going to tweak it for me, that fits me and, the players that I have. That's all that is. It's just a Jimmy Johnson, and it's a big trick.
But Spags also played with Spags also played with Parcells.
Yeah, that's the coach. That's what.
Was he with Parcells? No, he was with Coughlin. He
wasn't with Parcells. No, he was with Coughlin. He played with Coughlin.
Yeah.
Right?
So look at the people he was around. Coughlin. He was around Reed. And look at the different people that he's been up under. But it's just that Jimmy Johnson didn't get his just due, while the man was here, because the Eagles didn't win a Super Bowl when he was the defensive coordinator. They were always good on defense. They just didn't win the the Super Bowl, and that was the only thing why people don't remember him as that.
Yeah, but you can't take it away from the guy who's running it. You're in charge, and you got to admit, Spags changes his defense as the game goes on.
Like any good defensive coordinator would do.
But when the Eagles lost the Super Bowl, they had the best defense in the league. They had 71, 72 sacks.
Yeah.
They didn't touch Patrick Mahomes. They didn't touch him. He had no rushes, no hurries, and not one sack. Yes or no?
Yeah, that's true.
Zero.
But,
not a rush, not a sack the entire game. When you and I talked about it, you had said because that was his MO, he doesn't adjust. Well, good job. You lost the Super Bowl.
See, but the other thing is that, and I don't know if this had anything to do with it, both of those coordinators were interviewing for a job. Do you think maybe, in the back of their mind that they know, one went to Arizona and one went to, the Colts? Do you think other things in the back of his mind, as far as preparing, them for the Super Bowl, that he wasn't as prepared as he should have been because he was focused on getting another job?
Well, I can't answer that. Kevin, what are your thoughts on that?
Also, maybe I might be wrong, but wasn't Fangio like a special consultant to that team that year? When they lost the Super Bowl, 2 years ago or whatever?
No,
with Philadelphia?
I think Fangio, I thought
Fangio was with the Dolphins that whole time.
Then he
or
came
Denver.
Then he went
He
back.
was Denver.
Huh?
He was with Denver.
He was with Denver.
Then he went to Miami.
I think he was a special consultant to Philadelphia during their Super Bowl run.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Let me see.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
So.
Yeah, but if he's a consultant or whatever the title they gave him, how much input is he really going to have if the guy, that's a deep, if they're that kind of defensive coordinator, he's not going to want to hear what somebody else, is telling him in his ear. If unless he's that kind of guy, I don't know.
But it's a culture. It's
but you're right, Byron. But the point is, if Kevin's right and he was part of it, he's still gonna have a say. Whether you listen to him or not, he's gonna have a say, right? He's gonna tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
The defense this year.
Yeah, I mean, and the defense this year is doing well, but the year they lost the Super Bowl, I mean, I don't understand what Eric's point is. Jalen Hurts is getting his due. He's not getting his due. He hasn't won. He had a good game. That was probably one of his best years, but they also had one of the best defenses.
And also, like, if the Eagles had won that game, he probably most likely would have been, because he put up a lot of numbers. He put up big numbers. Most likely he would have been, the MVP of the game. But the only guy that ever got on a losing team was Chuck Howley, and that was like in the early 70s. As far as a losing team, get the MVP. Yeah, should he have been? Yeah, But most likely, he lost. No, they're not going to do that. They did it once.
That's just the way
I'm
it
sorry,
is.
say that again.
That's
Huh?
the way.
Say that again, Byron.
What?
What you just said, because I was looking at something.
Oh, I'm just saying that the only time the team a guy won MVP is Chuck Howley, Dallas Cowboys, like 1970 or 71, whatever year it was, and they wouldn't give it to Jalen, because they already they did it one time. I'm just saying if they'd have won the game, Jalen Hurts would have been the MVP because he did put up numbers in that game.
No doubt, but but they rarely give the MVP to the losing quarterback.
Well, they never have. Never.
Right, exactly. So you can't say, well, what if he would have done this, he would have done. You can't do that. I mean, Eric can cry all he wants. We're back to the same thing as a typical Eagle fan. At the end of the day, you can't take away from Spags. You cannot take. He's got what, 4 Super Bowls?
2 with the Giants and whatever he's got with Kansas City.
He's got 2 or 3. So he may have 5 Super Bowls, maybe on his way to 6 Super Bowls as defensive coordinator. How can you take that away? What are you going to say? Hey, I learned from this guy. So we're going to say like Elon Musk ain't Elon Musk because he learned from his teachers. You still got to put into play what you learned. You understand? You can't keep doing that. You can't. You could have a coaching tree and you can say how good these coaches are. You still got to win. You still got to win. And then when are you going to take it away? You think that? Do you think that Andy Reid? Look at Andy Reid. They got rid of him in Philadelphia. The first Super Bowl that Andy Reid was in, you and I were like, we want this for Andy Reid because we feel he deserves a Super Bowl. Did you think he was going to make the run he's making? 7 straight AFC championships?
No.
So are you going to take that away from Andy Reid and give it to the coach he learned under?
Probably not.
So you can't do that with Spags. And we always say every year, Spags. Do you agree that their defense has carried Kansas City? Kevin, do you agree that this year, inside of the regular season, that it's been the defense that's carried Kansas City? You there, Kevin? Kevin? He's not there. Byron?
I didn't hear you. What did you say?
I said, do you agree that this year it has been the defense that has carried Kansas City?
Oh, without a doubt. Look at all. Look at their schedule. Most of the games, they won by a touchdown or less.
They won like 11 games by 1 touchdown.
Yeah, the whole season. So yes, the defense has carried them this year.
They're ranked number 6 defense last 7 years. So, I mean, I don't know why you want to try to give, I don't understand how fans want to give credit of coaches, right, for coaches they coached under. I'm sure Johnson was a good coach, and I'm sure that Spags learned a lot from him. But at the end of the day, I don't believe anyone. I mean, every commentator, Kansas City Chiefs defense stats for last year, every commentator is saying Spags is gearing up something every year, every play. That last play he did against Buffalo was like the ultimate call at the ultimate time. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. And what I don't understand is my biggest problem is, what do you think about those last 4 plays for Buffalo? Evan, did you see that?
I think he disappeared.
Kevin, I kind of see him, but I don't know if he could hear us. Did we lose him? Out the room, we came back. Sorry, Kevin.
Okay, so we have here the Jimmy Johnson coaching tree. Pat Jones, Houston Nutt, Dave Wannstedt, North Turner, Butch Davis, Tommy Tuberville, John Blake, Dave Campo, Larry Coker, my coach from Tulsa, Ed Orgeron, and Randy Shannon are all the people that have coached under Jimmy Johnson coaching tree, either NFL or NCAA.
All right, yeah, we're back.
All right, here we go. I got you in twice, Kevin. All right, good. Kevin, what I was saying is, don't you agree that the Kansas City defense is what carried them all year?
Yeah, they got a solid defense. They don't have a lot of big names, but they got a solid defense. They're the same way. They just
well, you got Chris Jones in the middle. Chris Jones is a superstar. Okay, and I don't understand why the Buffalo Bills would run on the left side while Chris Jones is covered up. I just don't get it.
But he
plays up and down. He doesn't play one spot. He moves, like Kevin's gonna say. He moves up and down the line. He doesn't stay in one particular spot.
He might be in the middle, on the outside, left, right.
Yeah,
they do a lot of stunts with him too. You know?
We'll see. Well, okay. So who you have for the Super Bowl, Byron?
Nobody, since we have another whole week to worry about it.
But who are you picking?
I'll let you know next week.
All right, Kevin, who you picking?
I'm going with Philly, man.
I'm with Philly.
I'm going with Philly.
Well, now that Kevin just decided Eric just tried to just jump off our show because he can't handle the heat. I'm definitely going with Kansas City, and I hope they smother him.
I'm going with Philly.
I won't be a hater now.
No, but you got to understand, in sports, any major sport, the regular season you can win everything. If you don't win that Super Bowl or that World Series or that the NBA championship, it means nothing, bro. You can't even remember who played in 1987, who won who was the second place team. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
It's who won the Super Bowl, who won the World Series.
Right.
Who won.
So if Kansas City wins this Super Bowl, just to know that Barkley doesn't have that record, no one's going to remember any of it.
A dynasty. Who cares? Who cares?
And you're talking about. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Patrick Mahomes has a chance of catching Brady for 7 Super Bowls?
Yeah.
No.
I think he does. You don't think so?
Nah.
Interesting. Kevin, why do you say yes? And then Byron, I'm going to ask you why do you say no.
I think if he wins this Super Bowl, he'll be the youngest to 4 Super Bowls. He only got 3 more to go. And he's only
29.
Huh?
He's only 29. Brady played till he's 45.
Right. And he'll have 4.
Mm-hmm. Byron, why do you think he's not going to win?
The X factor is Andy Reid. How long is Andy Reid going to coach? Is he going to coach as long as Belichick, in the same spot? Because Andy Reid's like 65 years old. And, is he going to look where he wants to keep coaching for 10 years?
Byron, so don't say that.
But I'm sitting at home. I'm retired, so I'm good. But him, 65. He's 65 years old. High stress job. He's won both places that he's been. Why he won in Philadelphia, but I'm just saying, as far as chasing 7 or 8, Super Bowls, I don't think.
We're talking about Patrick Mahomes. We're not talking about Andy Reid. You don't think Andy Reid can win? Patrick Mahomes can win without?
No, nope.
But Andy Reid can't win without. Mahomes can win without Andy Reid, in my opinion. Just like a win without Belichick. Belichick can win without him.
All right. Well, we'll see. I just think, again, you're going to have to – we're going to have to see points, right? They're going to have to put up points. Philadelphia's going to have to put up points. Kansas City's going to have to put up points. I think from a defense, I just won't go against Mahomes. I've already was, 1-3 last year, so I lost once. I ain't gonna do it again. Remember, last time I picked Philadelphia to go over Kansas City, and I lost that one. And Kansas City pretty much was the better team, but still, look at Buffalo played a hell of a game. Think about if you look at the numbers. Like if I told you, look at these numbers. If I tell you that Josh Allen went 23 of 34, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, no turnovers. Let me see. He was sacked only 2 times. Do you think he'd lose that game? Do you think he would have lost that game?
Nope.
Those are some great numbers, right? But he lost the game, and look, they lost. They won the turnover battle. They turned the ball over. I don't know if they scored on that one, right? It's just Patrick Mahomes goes down, gets them in position, scores 3. I mean, what did you think about those last 4 plays of the Buffalo Bills, Byron? And Cook barely got the ball. Cook was averaging. Cook, let me tell you what. Cook, this is ridiculous. Cook had the ball 13 times. He averaged 6.5 a carry, and he had 2 touchdowns. And when he had 85 yards, what's wrong with these guys? Josh Allen had the ball 11 times, ran for 11 times.
You don't want to hurt his feelings.
I don't know. They didn't, like we said, they didn't run Cook enough. The last play. So they're saying now that the kid Dalton Kincaid, the tight end that they have, he's a pretty good tight end, that he was playing injured. He's been hurt like the whole year, like a slightly torn patella tendon or something was wrong with him. But usually like toward that, the beginning of the season, man, that guy was a beast. And it's he kind of taper off, as the season. He was like a big factor in their plans as far as throwing the ball. He didn't even get the ball a lot. And I guess, since it came out that he was hurt, that, that had a lot to do with it.
Well, let me see. I want to see last year's game, the last time they played. Hold on, I'm texting Casandia or something. I just think that some of the play calling on these coaches, the sad part is, Byron, obviously, I can't say I'm at the level of these coaches and stuff. Sometimes you sit back and you just wonder, what are you running? Like that, trying to get the first down. They didn't give it a Cook. He just tries to go over the left side. Did you think that was a first down or not?
No. If he was turned around the other way because it was his back, the ball has to be past the line, not your back. If he was turned the other way, then it's a first down. But because just the way his position, it didn't look like it was a first down.
You didn't think it was a first down?
No.
What about you, Kevin? I thought it was a first down.
It was close, man. It could have went either way. Could have went either way.
And then did you see the catch that guy made? That ball hit the ground.
So you saying when the 2 guys were battling for it?
Yeah, that ball hit the ground.
Yeah.
And then they didn't turn it over. I mean, Chiefs are just getting some pretty good calls. You know what I mean? They're getting some pretty good calls. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know if maybe the league wants to see a 3-peat, but at the end of the day,
man, stop with the conspiracy, man.
Well, I'm just saying to you, they've gotten a couple calls that were kind of like, not calls that were so good,
I know who was beat. Pat
Look
Riley.
at Jalen Hurts put up 304 yards in the Super Bowl, played 1 touchdown. He played a hell of a game. And they lost 38-35. So he played a hell of a game. And he would have been MVP if they won the game, but they didn't win the game.
They didn't win it. You gotta win it. You gotta win
it. You know what I mean? And he had Devontae Smith 100 yards, AJ Brown, Goddard. I mean, they did everything. And it goes back down to defense. Let me see here. Team stats. Okay. Passing yards 302, rushing yards 115. The Kansas City had 158, 182 in that game. 211, okay. 11-18. Total plays 72 versus 53. They had the ball for almost 11 minutes more than Kansas City. They gave up 1 fumble, and that fumble hurt them. They had 33 yards passing. They had 2 punts. I mean, for the most part, they should have won that game. And when it came down to it, it came down to defense. And the defense, remember, Byron, didn't we say it? Who was the defensive coordinator then back then
Oh,
for Philadelphia? And he ended up leaving.
Stein, either Gannon or Steinken, one of the two.
Right. And what was our comment? He didn't adjust. 0 hurries, 0 sacks against Patrick Mahomes. Do you think you're going to beat Patrick Mahomes without bothering him?
No.
What's that, Kevin?
You can't beat him bothering him. The man never takes his hit.
Yeah, you can't beat him bothering him, but you're definitely not going to beat him. Didn't they break a record that year in sacks?
Yeah, they didn't break the record. They were close. They had like 71 or whatever the number was.
They had like 71, 72 sacks. And then in the biggest stage, you had no rush, no hurries, and no sacks.
Yeah, but we can't say that he wasn't bothered because when he lost to Tampa Bay, they chased him all over the field the whole game when the Kansas City played the Chiefs that year. So, yeah, he can be bothered, but you got to put pressure on him. And, I ain't going to say Philadelphia can now or can't, but if you put pressure on him and get him, running to the right, to the left or whatever, you can. It's going to cause some problems.
Yeah, because he's in the playoffs, he doesn't turn the ball over. But during the regular season, he's turned the ball over. In fact, in this game, didn't he fumble? They lost the ball. They lost the fumble. So, again, I think that for Philadelphia to win, right, not only their offense has to play, but they have to defensively hold down the offense because Spags is coming after him. Right,
and Brandon Graham.
Sorry,
Brandon Graham is coming back for the Eagles. The one that's been out for, I think, like a torn tricep. They activated him, I think, yesterday or today. So another edge rusher. Then they got a bunch of them.
But I think the key to success for Philadelphia is Barkley. Give the ball to Barkley. He's got to run, control the game. And the only thing that scares me for the Eagles, given to Barkley is known for those big plays. And the problem is that puts the ball back in Mahomes' hands fast. You know what I mean? It's like I don't think Kansas City's a team you should score fast on.
No, take your time.
Take your time. Keep Patrick off the field.
Ball control, man. Have to have it.
You have to feel. All right, Kevin, let's go into something for you for the Dolphins. What is going on with your boy Tyreek Hill?
All right. Frustrated, looking at the team that he left. The damn Super Bowls and, tough, man. It's tough. It's got to be. It's got to be tough to look at them having success. He thought they weren't going to have success without him. You know how it is. And that wasn't the case. So I think he's just frustrated. Don't see what happens, man.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I think he's behaving poorly.
Yeah,
right. He wanted the money. He got it. And if he really wanted to win, there's no reason he should have left Kansas City. Kansas City would have worked it out with him. Imagine him on Kansas City right now.
I know, right?
That team would be crazy. Crazy good. And then when he left, he kind of took a shot at Mahomes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Saying how Tua is the most accurate quarterback he's ever played for and all that. I just sometimes these guys, I think they don't realize what is it you didn't see in Patrick Mahomes that area. Do you know Patrick Mahomes he only knows since he started, he's been in every AFC Championship playoff game.
All right. 7 years, right?
7 years straight. That's 7 years him starting. He's 29, starting at 22. So since he's took over starting, he's been in the AFC Championship for 7 years in a row. That's pretty impressive. I thought Derek Jeter had it good when he started. Patrick Mahomes, imagine, and he's warning the other guys. Guys, this ain't normal. Don't get used to it.
Well, it reminds me of he reminds me of Michael Jr. It's different sports, of course. But Michael Jordan stopped a lot of players from becoming champions, NBA champions, like Karl Malone, Stockton, all those guys there. And Mahomes is doing the same thing. A bunch of players not gonna win a championship because of him. You know, crazy, man, crazy.
Yeah, I mean, look, the guy is a superstar, and look, Kelsey's playing some good football at his age, right? And their line is doing well. I mean, they got a good team, they got good coaching, and I'm sorry, I think Spags is one of the best defensive coordinators out there.
I think Philly. I think pull it out.
You know, I mean, because I've seen him in every game adjust his game plan to who he's playing. And I don't see that on the defensive coordinators. They stick to one thing and they stay there, and they win or die by that way. I can understand that to some degree, but I just think as you're playing against the dynamics of different types of players, different offenses, different quarterbacks, you have to adjust.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And Spags adjusts. I mean, that you got to admit that last blitz he did on Buffalo couldn't have been better timing.
Yeah. Well, they said with that blitz that he didn't show it the whole year. They hadn't done that. And then that's called an adjustment. It's like, hey, let's run this here, right here. This is something they haven't seen, because I'm sure, Buffalo's been, looked over film, as far back as, 6 or 7 years of film, as far as, what they do. But it was just that all it takes is that one time, for it to come work. And it did.
And he came in free.
All by himself.
He came in free. I mean, so who do you go back to? Do you give that to Johnson? Do you say, hey, that was Johnson? That Johnson should get the credit for that?
But Jimmy, I watched the guy back then in the day. He did do stuff like that all the time. Corner blitzes, and he had people coming from all over the place. But yes, he probably did get it from him as far as the corner stuff. But,
okay, let's say he did get it from him. But you got to call it at the right time. I mean, the guys, it don't make any sense. You cannot take what you learned from somebody else, give them credit for it. You still have to apply it. Knowledge is only as good as it's applied. So you can learn from the greatest person in the world. If you don't apply that knowledge, what good is it? And if you're learning from another coach, you also have to know when to call that play, right?
Yeah.
You have to pull out of the pack. You think that, how long has it been that he's been on his own as a defensive coordinator? What was that, Kevin?
Who's the defense coordinator when Baltimore was winning their championship? I know. What was the coach's name?
Marv Levy when he was there?
No. Baltimore, the Ravens.
Oh, Baltimore. Who was the head coach?
And who was the defensive coordinator? I know it was Bellick. Was the Bellick, right? Bellick.
Was Rex Ryan there then?
Yes.
Oh, that was Rex Ryan, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Rex Ryan?
Might have been.
All right, I'm going into.
It might have been. You're right, because Rex Ryan might have been. He might have been.
So Spags was Philadelphia from '99, right? From '99 to 2003, right? And then 2004 to 2006, and then he went to Giants from 2007 as defensive coordinator. He won Super Bowls there. Then he went to St. Louis Rams. Did he win Super Bowls there? Then he went to New Orleans.
He got fired.
Then he went to Baltimore. Then he went to Baltimore. Then he went back to the Giants. I mean, this guy he's with Kansas City since 2019. So he's a 4-time Super Bowl champion.
Different teams. All right.
Okay. This guy, he's good.
Yeah.
He won with the Giants. He's winning with Kansas City. He's about to win his 5th Super Bowl. So I mean, again, I don't put anything against Spags, and he's carried Kansas City for the last 2 years. Because last year also, wasn't it the defense that carried them? They turned it on in the playoffs, but he carried them during the regular season.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got Dolphins with what do you think's happening? You think Tyreek's going to be there? There's a few other things that are going on. What do you think about the head coaching hire? What do you think about the new head coaches? Aaron Glenn. What do you think about Aaron Glenn for the Jets? What do you think about what's his name?
Ben Johnson with Chicago.
Ben Johnson
Pete
for
Carroll,
Chicago. Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll. What do you think about Pete Carroll in the LA?
He's only got like a 3-year deal with an option for he's 73 years old.
Yeah,
So he's probably just like they're gonna have a coach in waiting with them. He's gonna right the ship for the Raiders and then step away.
Yeah.
Look at that coaching division. You got Andy Reid. You got Sean Payton. You got Pete Carroll, and you have John Harbaugh. That's an incredible coaching division. Would you agree?
A lot of years, a bunch of old guys.
That's a lot of. I think all of them will be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you got 4 Hall of Fame coaches that division. The only difference with the Raiders, no quarterback. And what do you think about Ben Johnson taking the Chicago over the Raiders?
The Bears have a quarterback. Why would you know? He can work with that kid. He has talent. It's just that he needs. Yeah, they got plenty of talent. They just need something else. Somebody else that would be the captain of that ship.
And what do you think about Aaron Glenn with the Jets? Aaron Glenn seems like he's kind of trying to be a New York style person, trying to fire them up. You see his press conference?
Well, he did play for the Jets for 8-9 years, so he knows the area. He'll be fine. He'll fit in. As long as Woody Johnson, the owner, doesn't overstep. Like he's been doing, and just let the guy coach, and then figure out the Aaron Rodgers thing.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to stay? Do you think he's going to keep him?
Who knows?
They just show him the door.
I don't know if he's going to play again, but I think that and what do you think about Schottenheimer with Dallas?
A puppet coach. Why don't Jerry Jones just come out of the owner's box and going out there and coach the team? Why don't he just go ahead and do it? Might as well.
I agree.
And you got Liam Cohen for Jacksonville Jaguars. That was a guy that was the Tampa Bay offensive coordinator, and he didn't want the job.
Didn't he turn it down one time?
He turned it down. Then we're going to give you money to be the highest paid offensive coordinator. Then he had some secret meeting with Jacksonville. Then they fired the GM, Mulkey, and then he decided to take the job then. But yeah, his was like cloaked in secrecy and deceit and, like Jason Bourne kind of stuff.
All right. Well, we'll see. So you got Philadelphia, and Byron's too scared to pick a team yet. I don't know what's going to happen in 1 week or not.
Hey, don't forget New Orleans Saints, man. They don't have a coach.
They don't have a coach.
No, and guess it might be Kellen Moore probably, and our guy, our offensive coordinator, in name only, Mike Kafka. Kafka's been down there a couple of times for interview, and he's also the head coach for the Senior Bowl this week. Kafka. So hopefully we don't go down there, the Giants, and pick another quarterback from the Senior Bowl, because we've done it 2 or 3 times before. And
what do you think about Kingsbury staying with the Commanders? I think that's a good move.
Yeah, that's a good move for him.
He's done good. I think he sees something in Jaden, and I think he needs a couple of years, because he went to Arizona. He looked all good at Arizona, and then he just blew it. He had a tendency. Remember we talked about that a couple of years ago, where he starts off really hot and then starts tapering down.
Yeah.
Right. So I think him staying there would be good. Stafford plans to return to the Rams. Let me tell you, the Rams won one couple plays from making it. Steve Wilkes, for defensive coordinator for the Jets. Raiders are bringing back Graham as defensive coordinator.
Patrick Graham, the guy we used to have.
Belichick suggests naming the Lombardi Trophy for Brady. No, that can't be right.
Yeah, he did say it.
He said what? They should name the trophy Tom Brady Trophy?
Yes, because they're saying they should name it for a player because the Lombardi named after Lombardi. Then you got the NBA trophy, the Larry Stern or whatever the guy's name is named after
Larry
him. So
O'Brien.
why wouldn't you? Him, Larry O'Brien. So why wouldn't you name after player? Because I guess in the finals you have the Michael Jordan whatever award, and then you have the what's his name? Bill Russell Award or whatever, and they got players named. And so they say, why wouldn't you change the Lombardi to Tom Brady since he was in 10 and won 7? And Lombardi was just a coach. He didn't play or whatever, but still. But Lombardi was like an icon as far as the whole football thing. So I don't think that would be a good idea at all.
Right. And then if Patrick Mahomes surpasses him, what do you do? Change it again?
They brought that up too.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes is 29. I mean, he does have a shot to be there. Now, whether Andy Reid's going to be there, remember, Kelsey's not going to be there. But I think Patrick Mahomes is special.
Yeah.
I think he's special, and we're going to see what happens here. All right, gentlemen. Kevin, thank you very much. Hopefully your Dolphins can turn something around. You got issues with Tyreek Hill. You got McDaniels. Hopefully, McDaniels can continue doing what he's doing. But you got some rebuilding there. Our Giants, we got Malik Neighbors. Hopefully, we get a quarterback. Who do you think we're going to draft, Byron?
Who knows? I'm going with this.
Who would you like to draft?
Anybody.
Byron, they're going to draft anybody. That's a given.
Yeah. So,
but
who's anybody you'd like to see them draft? Would you like Shedeur Sanders to be there? Would you take him?
Nah, because he's not fleet of foot. They need somebody that can move around a little bit better than he can. And
he's not that tall either.
Ward, neither.
I like a tall quarterback.
Well, guess what? You ain't getting that now because neither one of them.
They're all 6'1",
like 6'2", or in that range. Which but Cam Ward, if anybody, it would be Cam Ward. But or I don't know. These knuckleheads is kind of tough.
So 3 or 4?
3.
We're picking 3. And Travis. So who do you got? You got New England's up there. They don't need a quarterback. They got Drake May.
They're 4. They're behind us, I think.
Oh, they're behind us. So what do we got? We got Tennessee,
Tennessee, Cleveland, and then us.
Right. So you got Tennessee. Both of them need quarterbacks.
Both of them. So the top 2 quarterbacks, but then
they were talking about Shedeur going to Cleveland. I just think anybody going to Cleveland is a disaster.
Well, guess what? He ain't got a choice if they draft him.
I get it, but I'm just saying that Cleveland's not a good destination. They're just belting out and ruining quarterbacks.
Yeah, a whole bunch of them, about 20, 30.
A lot of quarterbacks. I mean, Deshaun Watson, they still have. So, they got a lot of quarterbacks there.
And he re-injured his Achilles, so he won't be ready, all of next year either, probably.
It must be nice. He's sitting on that big stack of cash.
Big stack of cash.
Big stack of cash.
So if they take those 2 quarterbacks, then Travis Hunter is sitting there for the take, and so it might be him.
Well, yeah, and there's some quarterbacks. I mean, you got Sam Donald is going to be available, but I don't trust in Sam Donald. He's going to make money, that's for sure. You don't know what's going to happen in Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's going to have to redo something. I mean, there's going to be some interesting playoff moves this year, right? Because you got a lot of people who are going to be making a lot of money, and then you got a lot of people that have to trade. Who's going to pick up those numbers? We definitely need somebody to feed the ball to Malik Neighbors. So, all right, gentlemen. Kevin, thank you as always joining our show.
Man,
Let us know what's happening. Keep us up to date with the Dolphins. Byron, unfortunately, Washington didn't go through, but it's okay. We got the Pro Bowl coming up, so that's gonna be fun because you got flag football, which I kind of like. Kind of see a lot of things. Yeah, but I'm excited. In 2 weeks, we'll be in the Super Bowl, so we'll see what's taking place there. So, gentlemen, you have a great night. God bless, and don't forget every Thursday, Jersey Boy Sports Talk at 8 p.m. live on YouTube and on Facebook. Gentlemen, you have a great night, and we will talk soon. God bless. Peace.
Peace.